Good evening, everybody. So, I was about to introduce myself, but that's silly because y'all already saw me last night, hopefully. First off, I'm super excited that you are here, and if you made it this far, that you're still watching. So, I'm gonna talk to you about balance, okay? Because I know time is such a big concern for all of us, right? Most of us are super busy as it is. We are juggling all the plates. Most of us are moms. You may already have a full-time job, but we have all the things to do already, right? So I know for me, 4.5 years ago, first off, when my coach asked if I ever considered doing what she did, I laughed and told her no, because I didn't have time. Backstory, I was a practicing veterinarian at that time. I worked outside of my town, so I had a 30-minute commute every morning and then again in the afternoon. My girls were 9 months old at that point, and so I did have a lot going on. Oh, and I was just getting to the point where I was functioning from postpartum depression. So when she asked me, I was like, this chick is insane. Like, she's lost her mind. How does she think that I would even have time to think about doing this? And I truly believe that. But then I was put in a position. Actually, I was in the position when she asked me, but I had forgotten that until I came across one of our conversations not that long ago. But I had found out that I was losing a day's worth of hours at my clinic. And so in my mind, I always thought I would be working X amount of hours, my pay would be this, you get the picture, okay? And then all of a sudden we're in this situation where we weren't gonna have that income anymore. And so I was actually looking for relief work in the town that I live in addition to where I was working. I'm sorry if she's distracting you. And so I remember thinking, well, I already love these programs and products. After 21 days, they were changing my life, you guys. They were giving me life back. And I had people asking me what I was doing because they noticed a change in me. And so I was like, why don't I learn more about this? Like, why don't I just get her on the phone and ask her how much time does this really require? And I remember very vividly on my lunch break, stepping outside with all the barking dogs, asking her, how much time do you spend on your business? Because I don't have time. And, you know, she answered her question, my question, and told me, you know, she checks in with her challenge groups for a little pocket of time in the morning and in the evening, and you know, she shares her story on social media here and there. And, you know, there was a couple other activities that she didn't really go into at that time, but that now I knew that she was focusing on, because she was also a busy mom. And so I remember thinking I could do that. If she's telling me the truth, and I had no reason not to believe her, I could do that. I could be intentional with my time spent on social media and use it for something that could be our solution. And at that point, I was honestly just trying to fill in that little gap. Not a lot of money that I needed to fill in. But then I started seeing these examples of other moms that, for different reasons, but mainly for time freedom, walked away from their full-time job while building this business on the side. And I remember thinking, why can't I do the same? And granted, this was after like a solid month of personal development and just being plugged into this community and noticing such a shift that I actually went from wanting a full week's worth as a veterinarian to wanting more time at home, doing this and being with my girls. And so the point I want you to walk away with is, I built this business for 1.5 years while raising twins that were still really young and very demanding at that time, and practicing veterinary medicine in a town that required me to commute. And so I did it by being super intentional with my time and keeping things really simple. We're blessed to have something that literally spells out what you need to focus on a daily basis to move your business forward. It all boils down to people, building relationships with people, connecting with them, finding out their story, seeing if they have a need that we have a solution for, and just being a good person, you guys. I just got off of a call with somebody, and he was talking about how our sole purpose of existing is to serve others. And that's kind of how I've always looked at this. And so our activities as a coach that we do every day to lead to a successful business all surround people, listening to them, finding out what their need is, and serving them, and cheering them on every step of the way, pouring that belief into them, letting them know that they're capable of hard things, and just being a light in their life. And so I had to get very clear with where I was spending my time, where I was wasting my time. A lot of us are wasting a lot of time watching nonsense TV. This was me. Scrolling Facebook, scrolling Instagram, looking on Pinterest. That was another thing. I had to audit my time and see how I was using it and if it was serving me and my family. And then I replaced those little pockets with the activities that were pretty much handed to me and recommended that I did if I wanted this to be successful. And that's what I do today. Things look night and day because 3 years ago I stepped away from practice to be home full-time with my girls. But Beachbody isn't the only part of my life. This business is my baby, but it does not consume every second of my life. I have so many different passions that I've kind of revealed through doing this that I love spending time on. Writing's one of them. I have a big goal to write a book sooner than later, and so I'm taking a writing course. I contributed for a blog that I absolutely adore called This Mama Wines. I'm likely going to start my own soon. I run boot camps in my town twice a week, and so I'm making writing classes for that and getting together with these incredible ladies at our church. We also volunteer at our church, and I worked my tail off in those cracks to be home with my girls. And so it's very important for me to have that present time with them and to do things that I wouldn't have been able to do otherwise if I was still practicing. And so I think the answer to how do you find balance and how do you make time is by first knowing where your time is going now, secondly, knowing what your priorities are, and 3, making sure those 2 align. And so if you're here today because you have a need that coaching could be a solution to, whether it's wanting more time freedom or financial freedom, wanting to be a part of something bigger that allows you to serve others while also growing as a person and just being in the growth community, whatever your goal is, you have to know how it fits in your priorities. And knowing that over time, making this a priority will lead to an incredible harvest, you guys. A purpose-driven business that literally has no ceiling in terms of earning potential. Also has no ceiling in terms of the reach you have and the influence you have. And so I hope this was helpful. If you still, if you watch this and you're like, well, she didn't really answer my question about blank pertaining to balance, please let me know, because we are here to make sure that we are giving you every bit of advice and information to help you make an educated decision on if this is a good fit for you. We want to work with other women that have a fire to make a difference, that see what this can do for them and their families, and are excited about being able to serve others through this and create that perfect day. And that was something that I was asked about pretty early on, what is my perfect day? And just recently I was able to have a conversation with the person that asked me that, saying, you know what, I'm pretty close to living it. And it's incredible, because while I work really hard, and I always have, I would have never been able to achieve this perfect day if I would have never said yes 4.5 years ago. All right, guys, post your comments below. I want to know what your perfect day looks like. And of course, if you have any remaining questions that I did not touch on. All right. Bye, guys. This is Sadie Mae, by the way, and she's always in my videos.